This video is sponsored by DBrand. Okay, so I'm giving away 3 cases to 3 different people. All you need to do is let me know which phone you're getting, what case do you want, whether it's the Ghost, the Tank, or the Grip, and I'll send the Prism screen protector as well. And subscribe to the channel because your boy is trying to hit a milli. If you don't win though, you can get 42% off the Prism screen protector by bundling it with any of these 3 cases. Just use the link down below. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, don't mind the Z Fold 7, greatest phone this year. Take a look at this, the iPhone Air. It's actually called the iPhone Air, not the iPhone 17 Air. Okay, iPhone 17 Air. Meanwhile, I wanted a foldable. But anyways, I think I saw MKBHD asking people which phone was the most interesting, and a lot of people answered iPhone Air. And I agree, out of the entire lineup, this is the most interesting. Now, this doesn't mean it's the best, nor does this mean that it makes the most sense, but it is the most interesting one. And truthfully, I think it all has to do with power efficiency. I mean, that's the main thing I wonder. Like, how much power can I get out of all these in correlation with battery life? So, iPhone Air, the thinnest phone Apple has produced. Here's what's interesting though. I think that this is some sort of test for the people. And what I mean by that is that I think they're going to be using this in order to test rigidity, because if you think about it, this could be a foldable if you multiply by 2. And I didn't come up with this info on my own. One of my friends, Joe Knows Best, was talking about it within his podcast, and I thought it made sense. Damn, this is really thin. It looks already freaking thin from here. Holy crap. This is extremely thin. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, here we go, guys. Bam. And then bam. Look at that. Oh my god. Yo, this is crazy thin. Like, how do you even... What? Like, I don't even know what to say. I wonder how this is going to perform. Like, will it thermal throttle? Like, look at this. And the crazy part is that a lot of the hardware sits in here, in this little pill right here. Insane. Yeah, this is Air all right. This is very much an iPhone Air. Like, yeah. And then inside here, what do we get? Oh, there you go. USB-C to USB-C, braided cord, and I guess not even a setup guide. It says you no longer need a physical SIM card. Interesting. So that's that. One last thing I want to try is this battery, and then we'll test the MagSafe Force to see how much it can withstand. See how strong that is with this new back. Let's take this off quickly right here. Wow, this is really thin also. Okay. Yo, this is so thin I can barely hold it. Yeah, it's not coming out. Nah, maybe I can try something else. Wait. It's pretty good. Stronger than the Pixel, that's for sure. It's not bad. Oh, turned on. There you go. So, super interesting, but with the frames being in this glossy grade 5 titanium, when you grab the phone, it actually feels like it won't slip. The back, although, is definitely glossy. It's a tiny bit slippery, but nothing crazy. The DBrand can actually fix that for you, but I'll talk about it later. So I haven't even set up the phone yet, and I can already tell where it's getting hot. Nothing here. Like from here to here, there's nothing. But here, this is starting to get hot right here. As this video goes, I'm going to keep an eye on that, and I'll keep you guys posted on how temperatures behave. How do I put this? I think I like to say that this is slim engineering done right. Titanium frame, 5.6 millimeters in thickness, 165 grams, and apparently a 27-hour battery life. And this reminds me of a phone that got a lot of hate. Galaxy Edge. A phone that came in at 5.8 millimeters but 163 grams. I never got my hands on one, to be honest. So this here is grade 5 titanium. The phone in hand does feel incredible. I will say that off the bat. Like, it feels like this thin slab of a very polished metal. It's not heavy, of course. Manipulating it with one hand, taking into account this is a 6.5-inch display, is actually great. Now, this phone has this entire plateau in the back. If I put this on a table, it's sort of like the Pixel, but not really, in the sense that the camera bump doesn't destabilize the phone too much, just a tiny bit on a corner. If you pass your finger, you'll feel how this was precision milled to house the rear camera, speaker, and the main silicon package. I think Apple really wanted to concentrate more volume here in terms of components to leave room below for a high density battery, and the shift in weight honestly is barely noticeable whether you grab it from the top or from the bottom, so it's very well balanced. So yeah, I mean, they kept this whole structure in titanium to help with structure rigidity. It's far stronger and tougher than aluminum under stress. I'll let Jerry rig everything test that for you, that's for sure. But there is a ceramic shield front and the entire back to increase resistance from cracks and scratches. The front is better because it is ceramic shield too. I mean, 3 times better scratch resistance and improved anti-reflection. I'm actually amazed that they didn't remove the camera button to make even more room for the battery, but anyways, those are just my thoughts, because honestly I don't think this really is a phone for photos from what it looks like. I feel like a SIM tray could have been even more useful, but yeah.
Damn. Okay, do me a favor, guys, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys want me to rock? Do you want me to rock the Pro Max or the Air for the week in the life? Because right now I'm debating. This is a really nice phone, although it gets a tiny bit hot towards the top. Now that I'm done the setup, I can feel the heat on top. Battery life doesn't look too bad, although I can't tell what the percentages because it's not enabled when you're setting up the phone. But anyways, this is where I'm at. There you go, get started. And apparently I'm at 50%, so would you look at that? And it's currently 3:30, so let's see how battery dissipates with the light to moderate use.
With the Air, you do get a ProMotion display with adaptive refresh up to 120Hz, peak brightness of about 3000 nits, and like I mentioned, with Ceramic Shield 2, an improved anti-reflection coat for outdoor visibility. It seems like all the phones across the entire lineup have the same specs when it comes to the display, so that's nice. Now, how is this going to eat into battery life is the good question. Well, it's something to definitely be tested, but at 6.5 inch on a thin slab like this, I do want to clarify that holding it for content is not really challenging. I know the last thing you want to do is drop this, but assuming you will be rocking this without a case, the rails are grippier than what I thought they would be, and the back is nothing to worry about. And at the same time, this thing is incredibly easy to type with. Honestly, it's super comfortable and I love it. Despite this being a thin phone, it doesn't sacrifice DCI-P3 color coverage or HDR playback quality. And looking at it right now, because of the slim body and lighter weight, the display actually feels larger in hand than the Pro's 6.9 inch. I really do find it sits nice on this phone. I really like that. And the curved bezels are just perfect, honestly. Very nice.
So I just want to show you the difference in terms of coating for the anti-reflective coating. Look at that. You can tell the S25 Ultra is better. Not by a lot, but there's still a difference. To the point that like you'd rather have the coating of the S25 Ultra.
Let me know what you guys think about the anti-reflective coating. Anyways, the one thing I do want to mention is that if you're not comfortable rocking this like so without a case, I'm gonna show you some cool things you can do with DBrand. You can either get their grip case or get their ghost case. The grip case for the iPhone Air is like a sticky jacket for your phone. It makes your phone less slippery so it doesn't fall out of your hand. It's thin, so your phone doesn't feel fat and heavy. It has a little lip around the screen and camera, so if you drop it on the table, the glass doesn't touch first. On the other hand, I do know that the Ghost case is this clear protective case. It's thin and lightweight, scratch resistant, guaranteed not to yellow, reinforced at the corners for drop protection, MagSafe compatible with strong magnets, and has ribbed sides with clicky buttons for better grip and feel. Both of these are actually offered within the Pro models as well, so you can get that for the Pro and Pro Max if you want to. DBrand really has like all sorts of cases. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, but they also make really freaking cool stickers. Which, by the way, they also make nice cases for the AirPods and things like the Nintendo Switch. And on top of that, I find it crazy how they make custom button kits for the iPhones. These are super easy to install and they look clean as hell. DBrand has some wild stuff going on and I've been wanting to work with them since forever. So go get your stuff from them and tell them I sent you, please. It's clean as hell.
Look at this. It looks so clean. Don't forget that I'm giving away some of these cases. So all you gotta do is literally subscribe to the channel and comment down below which phone you're planning on getting. I'm fortunate enough to have so many freaking cases here that I feel like I should just give some to you guys to save you some money because I know how expensive these phones can be. And I'll send you a Prism screen protector along with the case. It has like really clear instructions. Damn it.
I think the exciting part of a phone being this thin has to do with the cameras. Like this year's the same sensor tech as the iPhone 17 Pro in the way that yes, many components are shared, but there are differences in configuration, so do note that. The Air has less hardware, so no ultra wide or telephoto lenses and possibly different processing, although I'm not 100% sure. But this camera here is a 48 megapixel Fusion main camera. Now what does this mean, okay? Fusion is Apple's imaging pipeline. Apple uses the term Fusion for its computational photography system. It combines like multiple exposures with different frames captured almost instantly into like one final photo, okay? Blending details, sharpness, colors, and low light data. On the iPhone Air, it's the only physical rear lens, a 48 megapixel quad pixel sensor with sensor shift optical stabilization. I know some of you are not so techy and I understand that, so I hope this makes a lot more sense in the way I'm explaining it. What I'm not too sure about is that they have this 2x optical quality, whether that is purely a crop or a combination of digital plus sensor physics wasn't really fully explained, so I can't really talk about that yet, but the resolution seems very sharp. I do wish I could say the same thing goes with the ultra wide, but this doesn't have one. However, I do think the camera will hold up really well for everyday use, but definitely a bit disappointing for a phone with a Pro chip. And of course, it is a phone that is not as versatile as the Pros because there isn't a triple lens camera system. The front camera, it seems like all the phones have the same 18 megapixel center stage front camera, so this means that it has center stage for video calls, and for photos you get that framing and expanding behavior, which is cool. But I think the most interesting part about this entire camera system is how will this perform in low light? I think that's about it, to be honest. They do state that their new processing engine makes all of this better, which also includes more natural skin tones. I do think, again, it's to be tested. And the video capabilities with the Air, well, you get 4K recording at up to 60 frames per second, Dolby Vision HDR up to 60 frames per second, but no log. You'll only find that with iPhone Pro. Okay, so here's the thing. So because this doesn't have ultra wide, look at this. So this is my car. You guys see the car? Yeah, I love this car. Yeah. Oh, right. You see how awkward that is? But yeah, I mean, it would be cool if it had an ultra wide, because then I could show you like even more stuff without me looking like, you know, like, nah. Hello, Mr. Incredible. I want to say this quickly because I was filming a bit at the house and there's a lot of shadows, a lot of light wherever there's windows and stuff like that, and you know, the sun is actually coming down pretty quickly. But the way that this sensor handles the difference in contrast, the difference between highlights and shadows, is very solid. I will give it that. It's very nice. The transitions it does is, I think it's excellent for what it is, because it really isn't a pro camera. So I gotta applaud Apple for that. That's solid. I like it. Do know that the main cameras also do not shoot RAW for photos. So yeah, for a phone with a Pro chip, I do feel like it should have gotten that. But would it be wrong to say that 90% of people shoot with the main lens and they don't really use RAW? I don't know. With this first look, the camera system, I think I give it a 7 out of 10. And then the elephant in the room, the battery. If you go on Apple's website, they will throw you all these crazy numbers, but usually the way they seem to benchmark all of this is that, well, they turn brightness all the way down, Bluetooth off, Wi-Fi off, and you know the drill. And so you end up with these numbers like video playback up to 27 hours, audio playback up to 95 hours. You know how it goes. We need a real world test in order to give you guys a proper idea. But maybe this will give you a bit of an idea because since I unboxed this, I was at 50%, and now that it's 5:20ish p.m., I'm at about 24%. And I haven't been doing that much with it aside from consuming some content to show you the display, some camera shots to showcase the cameras, and just playing with the UI really plus the setup. Apple are usually spot on with charging though, so in about 30 minutes you'll definitely get your 50% as long as you're using a brick with at least 20 watts. And since this supports MagSafe and QI2 with that, with the battery pack I got, you can wireless charge this at 12 watts. Check this out. Okay, I'm gonna do the battery test with the battery pack. It's currently 5:30, it's at 25%. Let's see how much juice we can get in about 10 minutes. 30 minutes. From 5:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. with a battery pack, we got about 20% of juice. And do keep in mind that you can use this battery pack to charge the phone at 20 watts if you ever need to. Despite the thin design, Apple is trying to promise battery life close to what the iPhone 17 Pro can deliver, which is impressive on paper because the high density battery powers a A19 Pro chip. So the chip you are getting in here is no joke. You will be able to doom scroll TikTok quicker. I'm really torturing this phone right now. It's literally connected to a battery pack. That battery pack is charging the phone, and now I'm running an extreme wildlife benchmark, and you can see that the phone gets hot towards the top there. The top is what gets hot, and then at the bottom it comes down. Here you go. Best loop score 2535, lowest loop score 2340, stability 92.3%. That's actually pretty good. Let me show you. This is what the graphs look like. The real question is though, how the hell does this compare with a 17 Pro Max? The one thing you will not be getting in here though is a speaker system as powerful as the Pros, because this here has a single speaker system.
Getting in that car is not going to be ideal for anyone. So first things first, let's try and wipe away a bit of this mold. Getting in that car is not going to be ideal for anyone. So first things first, let's try and wipe away a bit of this mold.
You know, I thought the Z Fold was not loud enough. I think this might just be worse than the Z Fold. Apple does use the earpiece at the top as the speaker, and then like at the bottom, those are not speakers. Those are the mics. So no speakers at the bottom. Just at the top. So, a little verdict about this phone. Having had this for quite a good amount of the day, we went from 50% at 3:30 to 25% at 5:30, I believe, almost 2 hours. Take this with a grain of salt because I was setting up the phone. The phone is sort of installing things in the background, getting used to me, the flow of things and everything like that. So just take that with a grain of salt. Battery life could be a bit better than that. I'm not sure how much better. I think the thing that really stresses me the most with this phone is thermals more than anything. Like it seems like just everything gets really hot here and it's all like condensed. Not sure how that's gonna affect battery life and stuff like that. You know, to be discussed, I guess. This really needs a long-term review. And when I say long-term, I'm talking about at least a year to see how this will evolve. That being said, can't believe I'm about to say this, but I think this is like a show-offy phone type of stuff. Like, I don't know, like if you're maybe in business, a realtor, or you know, in economics, a finance bro type of stuff, this is cool. This looks really nice. It does whatever you need it to do. The cameras are, like I said, a 7 out of 10. They're just good enough to you know, get by, post some stuff on social media and whatnot. Perfectly fine for that. But you could spend the extra money and get the Pro and have maybe a bit better battery life, better performance. I don't know. I'm not quite sure where this sits. I feel like you really need to rock this to give it a proper review. This is really a first look. You guys can do whatever you want with this information. This is practically what I experienced with this phone for the past, like, what time is it? For the past like 6-7 hours. So not much. Anyways, I will leave you guys with that. Time to unbox the Pro Max.